area basically continuously. You can just spin around as a D.Va and you'll eventually find yourself a Sombra if there's one on the field. Morningstars, though, won't have a defending D.Va. They'll have the defending Sombra from Tech 36, and they'll roll with the triple support as well, but they are going to have the additional healing of Slur on this Ana. That means he can use that Pollitt grenade, and he's going to be less vulnerable to the attentions of an enemy Sombra, because Slur on Ana doesn't have any shield health.
British Hurricane making a full swap up. Oh, I was going to say double dive tank.
Oh my.
Looks like they're going double main tank though. Hafikul on the Winston, so best of both worlds.
To be hacked, I guess, because Hafikul would be a huge target for a hack on that D.Va. Does mean he won't be able to eat any gravitons coming in from Arsene.
And nades.
Indeed, he will be able to not eat those nades, which could doom Numlocked potentially. We'll have to see what they want to do with this composition. They're rolling up right now from the low ground. Maybe want to try and get themselves positioning on the point as Health tries to make an engagement. He's going to take a lot of damage.
Someone pay attention to Slow. What a sleep onto Numlock, and a beautiful nade as well. Health was going to take him so low, but Numlock, Danid, and Suna were afflicted with a bio grenade. Almost an immediate teamfight win if you can capitalize on it. But Slur gets dove on the background by Hafikul, and Numlock actually takes out Kagasi. So it's actually way better for Hurricane. I thought that as soon as over, I was like, okay, it's letting unlock 3 purple. Okay, it's winnable, boys. But British Hurricane managed to target focus really well. They know Slur's got no mobility on the Ana. Use the sleep dart. It's like, wait, look at me. I'm a Winston. I'm right on top of you. Nothing you can do.
Yeah, it seemed like Hafikul was also making a good job of trying to harass Tech 36, making sure that he wasn't able to really get those manual hacks off, because while Tech 36 is gaining a lot of ultimate charge from dueling out with that Winston with his large hitbox, the SMG can do a lot of damage to that, but it does mean he's constantly under fire, cannot get those hacks that are required, and also when Hafikul turns on health, he can penetrate through that barrier with the Tesla coil. Looks like he is actually going to stay on this Winston. This will mean that health is going to be in a lot of trouble.
There's the grab, there's the Tesla coil doing a lot of damage, and the nade was it. Hit the wall, splash damage everywhere, and then you'll basically lose the fight. And the Transcendence is pretty much useless there as well. Of course, Morningstars don't have Transcendence available, but if it was, like, even that's kind of negated by the bio grenade. They're really relying on Dredro to save them from these grabs, or potentially get a counter EMP.
Look at the setup here from British Hurricane. I imagine we're actually going to see Hafikul try and avoid an incoming EMP. When the EMP happens, he'll pop his Primal Rage and he'll make sure to bat people away from hack targets, making sure there's not as much damage that can be done. Tech 36 right now looking for this hack, but he can only find 1 or 2 people.
Nice nade again on Slur and asking hack onto Yofi as well to see if he's got an ult. He gets the Tech 36 going to get bashed, actually just killed off straight away. The damage focus was there, and British Hurricane able to take down Morningstars before they can really use a whole lot of anything. In fact, Morningstars only used Rally in that fight. Slur jumped over to the Zen, wasn't able to get ult up quick enough, and British Hurricane steamroller. This is the 112 going on to 3rd.
I hope someone posts this comp on Reddit, because then I can start playing Winston in ranked again. That would make me a very happy boy. Hafikul once again, ready to use his Primal Rage. I imagine they are going to try and use it to defend from this EMP, like I said before. There's the instant Graviton Surge there.
Big grab, Numlock taking a lot of damage. This Shadow's going to be good though. The EMP's going to come out. The B as well. The counter Shadow from Helve. Numlock done it laid onto the floor. Grab's going to come out regardless though. Numlock still swinging in. No defensive ult available from Morningstars. It was so good. They threw everything in the kitchen sink towards British Hurricane, but they just took it with ease.
Rocky just went full W. He walked up towards the shield of Helve, and he just like
don't do him
placed a biotic grenade rather than throw it against the team. They're like, okay, none of you getting any healing, and now Hafikul can just cleave on through. He's still got that Primal Rage ready to go. He's not taking enough damage to really warrant its usage, and now we can bat people away when they try and contest the cart, because they've got to be on it basically permanently now.
Bio grenade's been so good from Bot, taking the flank, mate. They're actually forcing Slur to use the Transcendence as well. Hurricane are going to want to back off for just a moment. The Shadow was good again. 4 people on the backs, and another grenade lands in the back line. Kagasi and Dredro are going to have to retreat, but Hafikul is chasing them up so well with the Primal Rage. British Hurricane flipping the switch fully on this map. Morningstars didn't stand a chance. British Hurricane are going to net this payload in a matter of moments. That was 3+ minutes to attack again on Numbani. That's so fast.
That's incredibly fast. Pedal to the metal here for British Hurricane. Definitely got this plane in the air right now. We're at cruising altitude. They're going nice and fast. Hafikul also adds with that Winston another sort of like complication into the mental maths that Helve has to foresee in order to lay down a Nerf Shadow, because he's not just worrying about 3 shields now, he's worrying about 4. He's got Numlock's primary barrier, he's got the primary barrier of the Brigitte, he's got the projected barriers of the Zarya, and then the bubble barrier from the Winston. That's a lot of shield that can get in the way.
You just can't press key.
Yeah, and it means that those are going to be rotated in front of you, and by the time that you've seen all 4 get used, another one's up. It's not like the Brigitte barrier and the Reinhardt barrier don't have longer cooldowns. They're just always there, basically. There's only like a slightly small internal cooldown that you have to rely upon when putting them up and down. The recovery time is not too bad at all, and those recovery times can be covered by the other tanks.
Hurricane stock's going up. Morningstar stock's going down a little bit. Morningstar's on the offense, British Hurricane on the defense. And Hurricane running out with a bit of a similar comp. They're just running Happy Cool Sombra for the time being, and Bok on the Ana. And the idea with the Ana here as well, and you kind of expect the enemy team to go, okay, they have a Sombra, we have to switch to a Sombra. And then Bok's idea when he gets ultimate and when the rest of his team get EMP'd is he uses the nano on the targets that gets focused more. And more often than not, that's going to be the Reinhardt. And do you want to step towards a Reinhardt with nano? No, you do not, especially if it's Numlocked who's going to press W into your face. That's the kind of idea you're looking at. Morningstar's going to go with kind of a similar composition that British Hurricane ran on the offense here. Bit of DPS usage, triple DPS, just solo tank ball, and then Dreedro and Slow on the support.
I wonder if we are actually going to see a nano boost onto Numlocked against this current composition, because the nano boosted Reinhardt won't have a huge amount to do up against this widely spread composition, and now Numlocked's on the low ground, so he's feeling even more small than he was previously. Danet's going to be the one contesting, and Kagasi taking some damage from the hit scan properties of both the beam and the aim down sight Ana.
Oh, Health just pushing everybody away as well. You can kind of chill up on the high ground, get a pile driver maybe onto the Reinhardt. Big bio grenade actually landing on the back of British Hurricane, meaning they're getting increasing heals from Yofi and Bok. They do end up trading Slur for Happy Cool. Better trade here for Morningstars, however, because they have a fairly easy spawn, and it's going to be hard for British Hurricane to really convene back onto the point. Help is going to go down regardless, though, but Kagasi's got the ultimate online.
Suna was cornered in that room, but Morningstars didn't invest as heavily as they should have. Meant that Helv lost out in that duel. There was just too much damage coming through.
The triple tap from the Ana, insta-kill. Bok takes him out, a resurrection onto Kagasi, and Bok ends up going down to Asking, who is too busy paying attention to the Pharah. Riley's going to come through from British Hurricane to make the Brigitte almost invincible and pushing the rest of the team forward. Happy Cool still gets demeched, however.
Demeched, but question is, will he be delived? Asking is very hard to challenge up on this high ground sooner. You can't really come out of there because you're just in the crosshairs of Asking.
Oh, Bok. He doesn't stand a chance, or maybe he does, but still, using the bio grenade are also important. Now he's going to have to take the longer route round. EMP's going to come out. Danez is going to get hacked, but no one's going to really jump on him. Dragon Strike going to come through as well to push people away. Gassi trades his own life for Numlocks, but Suna's now got the grab. It's a perfect control from British Hurricane. They haven't even given up a tick yet, Harry.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard for Suna to try and move into that grab while that minefield is still there. There is for resurrection.
Grozoni grab, okay. No one actually walking into it at all. Kagasi gets back up once again from the resurrection, but British Hurricane still holding firmly onto this point. Now they are finally getting taken out. But still, Morningstars aren't going to be able to defend for long as there's a rallying break coming in with Numlocks.
And now Bucket, he's trying to do the damage to Kagasi, who has to move out of the way, use that concussive blast so he has time to get healed, but there's the assassination!
No. The fire grenade as well from Bot downtown, lobbed it over his head, and Yofi finds the kill. 1v1 versus Asking, oh, make it fair, please, Suna. Nah, he didn't. They want to win. I can't blame them.
And in the midst of that fight, I've got to also give credit to British Hurricane for some good combos to make sure they could kill Tech 36 after Bucket slept him. They made sure that Danid and Numlock were there. They hit him with both of the primary attacks, then used the shield bash to compound that stun, making sure he couldn't translocate away, then using the whip shot to deliver the burst damage in the end. We're going to see a quick hack there onto Happy Cool, but he's in a safe distance now, and the first stick has been given over by British Hurricane, despite having not been given for basically the entirety of that fight. Danid's getting cyberbullied.
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world if you've only given a tick, but look how much time you've burned away. This is kind of perfect for British Hurricane right now. They've got a lot of ults to fall back on as well. Dreedro desperately trying to heal everybody up. Hell gets caught out from the back line. They trade for Danid. Dreedro going for the risky res. Numlock spots his opportunity, lays down the hammer, and at least tries to find one kill. Dragon Strike coming through, but 40 seconds now remains, and they still haven't got another tick on the point. They may be finding the kills, Harry, but they need percentage. Happy Cool get a dub with a bomb. What?
I don't know how it's happened, but still, Yofi's the only one left on the point right now.
They don't know where he is.
He's hiding in plain sight.
Please, he's only behind the payload, and he's got the beat as well to really match. British Hurricane are piling back onto this point with ults to spare.
Now they are. We've got Speed Boosters currently active. He's going to need to heal up his team, but Numlock's there, and he's got a huge amount of shielding available to keep the rest of his team safe. Yofi's more than happy to try and take that duel with health, just try and demonstrate or claim some attention for himself, or sooner looking for another grab.
Tex only just got back up. He's going to have to sprint to the point with the EMP. Graviton Surge comes out and Dorijo's caught up. All the healing now from Morningstar's disappearing right in front of their very eyes. Kagassi's going to fall as well. That rally's going to be more than enough armor for them to survive now, even with the incoming EMP. Arskin's going to fall as Happy finds the double. British Hurricane finding the 5-man beats. It's all over. Morningstars, they surely can't get back onto the point. Slur on the Tracer instantly falls. And British Hurricane will hold Samsung Morningstars on point.
And the comms there potentially falling apart for Morningstars in a multitude of fights. It felt like we saw maybe only 2 fights over the entirety of that. They were just so long and protracted. And it seemed like constantly Morningstars just had their boot on the throat of British Hurricane. But they just couldn't secure those final kills. Soon it became evasive. He was probably sitting there with like 100 health forever. And then he was stuck on his own in a room. And only health went in to try and finish him off. But because the projected barrier was there was enough damage from Soon he could get rid of that main tank. You lose the main tank, you lose point control. It's just a compounding series of failures, unfortunately, in a great defensive hold from British Hurricane.
British Hurricane looking on the up and up. We're going to have to wait and see what happens in map number 4, though. That's coming right after this break. Hey guys, welcome back. British Hurricane are now in match point position versus Morning Stars. We've got another map coming up for you very quickly. We did just see, though, British Hurricane full hold Morning Stars on Numbani. Rather scary map to attack with all those DPS. I mean, it kind of makes sense why they're running something like that, because the 3-3 and the Ghosts does require a whole lot of coordination. With the DPS comps, you are really looking for that full team wipe, and that was one of the reasons why they weren't able to crack. They weren't able to just kill all the British Hurricane at the same time, but it requires a little less comms and a little less coordination than the Goats does. And we saw in the later halves of that map, Harry, them switch up, and what happened? Well, Numlock just kind of rolled them. Yeah,
Goats can be very variable in the amount of coordination that it requires, and Numbani is definitely one of the most taxing maps, especially Numbani first, if you want to run a 3-3, because you have to deal with so many different angles and so many high grounds that the defensive team has as an inherent advantage. And that isn't always the case. In some places, people just go, okay, just go 3-3, because it's easy to coordinate, because like you're just going to run in a straight line. But that isn't the case when you're playing on Numbani, because there are so many different ways you need to enter, so many different directions you need to shield for with your Reinhardt. It's not like a mono-directional point. It's an entirely three-dimensional point coming through there, but we are going to be going to Rialto, which is a little bit more straightforward. The second point can be incredibly difficult to break. You and I, as British people, of course, having some flashbacks to World Cup, UK versus South Korea.
Oh, yes. The infamous drawing series. Didn't feel like anybody was going to win.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, South Korea winning and prevailing once again.
To be fair, we did well enough where we'll call it basically a spiritual win.
Yeah, sure thing. I mean, that's basically all you can get against South Korea at the World Cup. So, there you go. Predictions pretty early, but, you know, South Korea are probably going to win it again.
Speaking of which, last week our World Cup committees were revealed, and many of the European teams are going to be trying to stream their tryouts in one way or another. So make sure you follow the committees on Twitter and stay up to date with what's going to be happening to see who's going to be representing your particular country and our region at the World Cup this year. Yeah,
I've been watching a bit of Dragon Eddie's stream, just been streaming some of the Italian tryouts. That's been pretty entertaining.
Team Italy had such fantastic jerseys last year.
They did,
the light blue and the white, bellissimo.
Jersey game was on point, actually. To be fair, I did like the Poland jerseys too. And we do have a Polish player in Overwatch League now, of course. I do kind of miss him, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Danya was always fun to cast because you never knew exactly what it was going to bring out. One season he was a hit scan monster, the next he was like the best Pharah that was around, and Numlock right now going to go for an early fire strike. Seems like both of our teams are going to be going back to something a bit more classic, but Morningstar still going to have a little bit of innovation with Tech 36 on that Sombra. You can see Dridro going for a long flank here in the background.
Someone's going
to be under attack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's going for the biggest flank of the century here. Dana's going to drop right on top of them, though. What a boom! Askin definitely didn't see that one coming, and Yofi actually takes out Dridro too. Nice little start for British Hurricane, and now they can hold super far up. Cart's going to trickle back, but it's not going to trickle back that far, of course, but that long flank for Dridro got punished instantly.
British Hurricane, man, definitely taking advantage of the fact, but Morningstars basically 4v6 because Dridro went on a long flank. Same with Tech 36, who wanted to coalesce on a target, but it's a bit too late when two of your people are already down. Yofi, what are you looking for?
You know he's there! You know he's there! Yofi got the kill onto Helv as well, just left-clicking into the mess. There's Slur going in too. That's Yofi with a triple, looking for the quad, but almost gets booped in himself.
Skate like you mean it.
It's okay. Hold your breaths. He's not dead just yet.
He's under attack, but he ain't dead yet. Yofi, once again, going to be checking for people coming through. You can see Bocket on the high ground right here has a pretty commanding presence, but he's got to be careful about Slur and those long-range right
clicks. If he gets someone again, he's going to get an ult. And look at the ult disparity as well with Dridro. He's only up to 35%.
Oh, no. Oh, that's a tilter.
No, he's okay. He surfed his way back on. It's okay for the time being, but Suna's going to get 2 kills of his own. I think that was actually a right-click mortar kill on Kagasi there.
I think he got the credit because the Morton has a slight knockback property while someone's in the air, and he did get booped off by Yofi. Don't worry, Yofi, we saw it. Here's the replay. I think Asking right now is not having a good time. I'd be tilted off this earth.
Kagasi, I believe, rallied as well in that fight. EP's going to come out. Tech 36 is going to be able to run over Numlock as the shield was removed. Finally, Morningstar is going to be able to push on forward. However, they're still taking a fair bit of damage, mind you. Still a little bit of ult charge being fed the way of British Hurricane. British Hurricane know they don't really need to use ults in this situation. Of course, nice little bit of style points there for Bok trying to get a sleep. Dana did manage to find a kill on Kagasi, but he'll be back momentarily, of course.
The second the EMP happened there, Morningstars have invested very carefully. They need to make their way past that bridge because it was just being such a sticking point for them. British Hurricane, the second they got EMP'd, they lost one. They're like, well, we didn't need to win that fight. We were just burning their time back right at the start. Now they have basically 6 ultimates ready to go. And Tech 36 is going to be looking for a manual hack to try and cancel out 1 or 2. There it is.
That
what
in the
world?
Oh, that was almost so good to be true. However, Tech36 does manage to get the recall off. There's the grab. Beat's going to come through. Counter grab on Numlocked. Fire grenade's going to land on him, so they don't really need to do anything else. The Shatter's going to land, though, and 5 people get sent to the ground. The Beat just in time from Yofi to save them. There's too much damage focused onto Dan, and he ends up going down. Transcendence is going to get forced out onto Slur as that self-destruct did go sky high. Morningstar's in a good position, though. Kagassi's going to come back fairly soon, and Tech36 actually has another EMP ready and raring to go.
Small mistake there. I think Yofi wasn't supposed to be the recipient of that nano boost, but I think it went on to him. The Boostio coming out, and British Hurricane, they invested basically everything in that fight and still got to lose out. Tech36 now can basically EMP as he pleases, doesn't have to worry about that duel with Yofi where you try and go for the EMP and then the soundbar after. He can just EMP as he pleases.
A lot of ults available for Morningstars right now, or coming online at least. Rally and EMP. British Hurricane needs to be able to build up towards this nano to make sure Numlocked is safe in these fights. That is their goal right now. If he gets EMP'd, it's basically all over, Harry.
Tech36 waiting on the ground, waiting for an engagement. Potentially, he knows exactly
there
where it is.
EMP's going to come in. 5 people are going to get locked up. Numlock can't use his ults. Instantly gets killed off by Health. That'll be a very, very deep Transcendence coming through from Slur. Look like all the way from Spawn. Rally's going to come out as well. Going to make sure Morningstars end this fight rather cleanly. They're going to throw in the grab for good measure as well.
Every ultimate there after EMP has got to be a big old Y from me. I feel like after they killed Numlock there, probably could have been a win for Morningstars. They invested maybe 2 or 3 more ultimates than they needed to in that fight, and British Hurricane may well be able to take advantage of that in the long game, because don't forget, the time bank still isn't entirely in Morningstar's favor. Only 2 minutes remaining. That's maybe 3 fights British Hurricane have to win, and they can do it with any of the ultimates they have available.
And they got a whole bunch as well. Yofi's going to get hacked. Sails to the floor. Numlock's going to go fairly low. The Shadow hits the side, instantly kills Numlocked. The rest of them are as good as dead. Apparently that's all Morningstars needed. A nano boost is going to come out, but is it really going to be worth it at this point? Look who's still alive. Helv is just blocking off Suna, who had the nano from all the damage that the grab. There's nothing really you can do there. Suna throws out grab, gets nano. It's like, yes, so it's go time, boys. Let's go. I'm going to right-click into this grab, get a 6-man. But it's not going to be there because Helf's still alive, Harry. Just blocking him from doing all of anything.
Going to right-click into his 6-man and do a small amount of shield damage is what I'm going to do. Tech36 can stay for a bit longer. A recipient of a protected barrier and will give Asking a little bit of extra damage and energy to use. You're going to want to get out of there, my buddy. If they speed boost onto you, you're in trouble.
Yeah, he knows. Asking is going to receive a speed boost of his own. The rest of Morningstar's backing up. The EMP is going to come out. A little bit of a bait from Morningstars, begging them to come onto the payload. Self-destruct comes through. Another nice grab from Asking to end the fight rather rapidly. And now Morningstars have got so many ults going into this last point. Morningstars running out, British Hurricane running out of steam, Harry. They've even got a beat to really survive them through the next push.
Yeah, it's not looking great here for British Hurricane. They're going to only have that sound barrier, but now Tech36 knows that's the only ultimate available. He saw the tick marks pop up when he used that EMP. He can try and go for a manual hack onto Yofi, potentially. That'd be the MVP play from Tech36. Morningstars have everything they need and more to try and cancel this one out. They can even go for a later sound barrier.
Was moving forward on those stairs, trying to corral people all in one spot. Yofi's got hacked. It's a perfect time to send out the ults. Tech36 gets slept on the back line, but is it actually going to matter? Yofi ends up going down, but they end up trading for health. Still Kagassi on the point, used the rally. He's got the armor to his name, but they're going to have to chew through British Hurricane shields. Not enough damage available. You can see Numlock still fighting on the points. Bok finds the kill in the end, and that looked really good. It was a perfect hack onto Yofi. In fact, they did end up killing him, but not as much support as they wanted onto Hell when he just got ran over.
Yeah, big brain there from British Hurricane. They knew that they were going to go after Yofi, especially with the early hack, so they knew that potentially they could make use of that huge mono-directional sort of attention that Morningstars were using to try and make sure they could kill Hell first. Rocket trying to play a different angle here. Doesn't want to get hacked, so he can apply the nano boost after it. EMP comes down, allow Numlock to have a lot of extra health, extra resilience, and extra damage to punish people who come in towards him.
Look at him. There's the grab on the side. Actually, they're going for a 1-man. The bio grenade isn't going to land. It actually goes into the shield. Nano's going to get used on Numlock fairly early, but they've still got a beat. They've still got pretty much everything on the side of Morningstars. They got an EMP ready to go. The nano boost is now not there, but the beat is. Yofi lands a perfect one, but Numlock gets shattered before he can get off his own. Helv's going to find the pin kill onto Yofi. Some more stalling time as the self-destruct comes out. Kills Kagassi, in fact, but everybody else is going to get hacked out, and they're going to get killed rather rapidly. Stalling tactics for British Hurricane as soon as on the Tracer, but it is just a waiting game now for Morningstars to clean up the rest.
Numlock shattered somewhere. I think he may have tried to solo shatter Tech36 at some point. Helv is down.
Helv's dead.
They can bring this back.
Yeah, Numlock's going to be able to plant himself on the payload. It's going to be such a hard target to actually peel off now. 20 seconds now remain for Morningstars to get back in this fight, and Zander gets a kill as well. Bot throws the nade out and actually ends Drudro's life. Morningstars, they may have tripped up at the final hurdle.
I don't know what happened with Numlock's Shadow there, but he got someone, and health going down. That was just monstrous. Morningstar's then didn't have anything to try and save them. I mean, there was no permanent shield in the way of damage with that right click. People getting frozen up, people were panicking. When you start getting hit by the main primary fire, you panic. That's exactly what happened. Morningstars have a Graviton Surge, but they don't have any time to play with.
Grav comes out, nade onto Numlock to make sure he's more than alive. Helv gets bio-grenaded in the meantime as well. The Transcendence is going to be enough to save him. Numlock's still got that EMP ready and round to be applied to him. The EMP comes out, and now no one can walk towards Numlock unless they got a whole heap of hammer in their face. He's still got the Shadow available to him as well. It's going to hit the ground. The perfect target is going to be Kagasi, and he ends up falling over. OT ticking through. Morningstars are going to get halted just before the 3rd point. Hurricane now cleaning them up. OT ticks down, and there we have it. No completion for Morningstars, meaning British Hurricane could just end the series on this next push.
So they could, if they can basically complete the map, they will claim the series 3-1, but British Hurricane there, we saw an interesting wave that they sort of fell apart. The second they lost one fight. They basically then just lost like 5 fights in a row over and over again, investing ultimates where they didn't need to. And despite some very questionable ultimate economy from the side of Morningstars, they continue to be able to win with maybe one ultimate because British Hurricane just invested, even when they lost players already. And the same thing could be said of British Hurricane. They invested ultimates after they'd already lost their main tank, thinking they could try and bring it back. 5v6 is that inherent idea that we are the better team, we can outskill this, we may have lesser numbers, but we've got the ultimates and the skill to try and win out this fight. And it didn't work again and again.
It's very much Team Envy-esque. They did say every fight is winnable. That's one of their mottos going into every game. And
against British Hurricane, it certainly was.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly that. I mean, it's a bit unfortunate EU's performance at Atlantic Showdown, but, you know, still gaining a spot isn't too bad going into Gauntlet later this year.
Still surviving with a spot.
Yes. Well, I was trying to be nice, Harry. Come on now.
There's no room for niceties when it comes to international competition. We are unbiased, of course.
Completely unbiased. Absolutely.
Well,
what are you talking about? Yeah. Morningstars on the defense, British Hurricane on the offense. Then we have a Clockwork comp coming out for Morningstars. Slurs on the Hanzo as well.
Once again, it's going to be Drudro trying to juggle everyone's healing, though, with that solo Mercy. But
hang in there.
36 can take care of himself with the Take a Breather. Does give him a 50% damage reduction while gaining him 300 health. And Asking can do the same thing, gets invincibility while healing up with that Ice Block. And here we're going to have to see people be very careful about not only avoiding hook-halt combinations, but we've also got to make sure they don't get halted off the edge.
Never seen those banners move like that before. I think that was a halt from Hell. I'm not entirely sure. Turret is going to go down. Slur gets naded. Should be alright, though, to move it over the bridge. Not really worried about boops anymore.
Yeah, they're just going to push the cart in. The cart does provide...
Health's actually asleep.
That is not great. It means that they won't have to be able to put down that shield for a little while. There it is, finally going to go for the Halt hook, but it is blocked out. No one going to be caught there. And now, British Hurricane, they want to try to go in from a high ground here. Fox going to have a great angle for any bardic grenades.
Yeah, not only that, it's really hard to like Halt hook someone at this point as well. Going to drop on to them, and Help gets bio-grenade yet again. Asking too. He was so close to that Blizzard. That could have been the saving grace for this push. Again, it's very much a composition that relies on everybody staying alive. As soon as one member gets picked off, it's all over. It's not like Goats where you can kind of win out the war of attrition and hope your Zai or Diva or Reinhardt picks up an additional kill. Bok has been just such a monster with his Ana.
Asking's up high, can drop the Blizzard down onto him, should he wish, if he wants to go for something a little bit more sneaky. Kagasi going to lay down the turret, there's the Dragon Strike.
Nice Dragon Strike. Happycool's going to get stunned up and actually demegged as well by Slur. The Blizzard's going to come out and fade away. The rest of British Hurricane were able to get out pretty much scot-free. Now, as soon as someone's got grabbed, they can just push in. They've got the Nano as well on the Reinhardt. No one's getting past Numlock now. Morningstars, they tried all they might. The Blizzard just wasn't really good enough. And British Hurricane will end up capping this first point.
I believe Numlock there did actually get credit for Drudro dunking himself into the... Asking.
He's dead.
This is not great.
He is very dead.
Yeah, that was a longer stagger than he should have had. Maybe here we'll see Morningstar swap over to another composition, but it seems like they want to try and play this maybe from the high ground, but they're having a little bit more in terms of the healing available. Slur moves over onto the Zenyatta, and Drudro onto the Ana. This is going to give him a lot more utility and a lot more damage onto this primary main tank of Numlock using that Discord Orb.
This grab can be really good as well. You can just pin everybody to the wall. I have to wait for the Fortify to come out for the Orisa as well to make sure she can't just walk out of it. Hook comes through from Tech 36, but doesn't really find all of anything.
Still, the cart's moving this entire time, Jaws. That's basically a fight worth of contest. Gone down the drain as Morningstar's try and set up here. Danit's in trouble.
He's completely caught out. Is he going to be able to survive? Molten Core's going to come through. Asking already goes down. Bad news for Morningstars right here, who have got to contend with so many ults. The grab's going to come out. They got no defensive ones available with Slur. Roni recently actually changed over to the Zenyatta. Tech 36 still going to use that whole hog, but once again, bot coming up absolutely massive. Here's the bio grenade of his life, and again, Morningstars crumble.
And even while they were winning the fight with the use of a whole hog, the cart was still moving. They may only get one fight out of this entire push here, Jaws, despite having the opportunity to potentially get more. Helv going to have to step up now, needs to put himself between the cart and its destination. Asking gets stunned, can't use the ice block.
He's dead again with ult. This is disastrous for Morningstars. The Transcendence is coming online. The bomb's going to get shot out afterwards. And look at the tag team duo on the back line. Both Dreidra and Danit just assassinating people by pushing them into the water. Slur didn't stand a chance either. Hurricane, where were you in map number 1? I do not know. This is the last attempt for Morningstars. This is it. They have not only... Do they have Blizzard Harry, which they've had for the last 2 pushes? They have the Supercharger. Is this actually going to be enough? British Hurricane are cycling ults so well.
A lot of time on the clock. Morningstars, if they want to win this one out, take us to a 5th map. They've got to go absolutely supernova. Take 36 going to waste his hook there. Not exactly what he wanted.
Here's the Blizzard Harry. This is what you want. Everybody gets dragged back in, but a perfect disengage from Yofi, speeding everybody away. Supercharger's going to get used as well. Of course they can, but do they want to? Absolutely not. Nano's going to walk forward.
Oh my
Shadow. Grab's going to come in as well. That's it. It's all over. British Hurricane are going to move this car on forwards. No way Morningstars can come back now. They threw everything in. They might have the Molten Core, but is it going to be enough?
Well, the Molten Core can try and keep people off a specific objective or a specific point. The area to know is exactly what we're going to need, but it can also be blocked, eaten, or otherwise put elsewhere. You can see Numlock making sure people can't get through that doorway. They need to get on the point.
Molten Core comes out. Only one globule lands on the payload, but is it actually enough? Help gets naded, and soon it takes him out. Tech 36 using that ult to push everybody away. In fact, gets nanoed as Dano gets pushed away. At least he finds one kill, but the bomb from Happy wasn't good enough either. A bio grenade and the nano was used on Tech 36, and he still couldn't survive. British Hurricane sinking the payload in. Managed to claim the series 3-1.
I love the positioning there from Unlocked as well. Made sure that the arcing of the Molten Core had to be a lot more aggressive over a shield. And not only that, when people went through a shield to try and contest the cart, they couldn't heal them through the shielding that was provided. Anna can't heal through a barrier. It would just do damage to the barrier instead with a projectile you send out, meaning that there was a lot less sustain available for Helv there. Some great play from British Hurricane managing the threats that were going to be levied at them.
And that's a hard comp to kind of pull off, but once it does get rolling, it's fairly tough to play against the Mei and the Orisa Supercharger, and then you can, again, kind of cycle through, bust the Molten Core, can be quite disastrous for the GOATS comp. You kind of walk into that, it's like you mentioned, the last push is such a big area denial, but as long as you can actually get it down, it can be eaten up, of course, by the Diva Matrix. Here's Morningstars, the DPS comp as well, just didn't really work out on first, and Mbani ended up getting full held. Hurricane coming online just so swiftly after that second map.
Yeah, Morningstars will drop to the bottom of our standings for today at -4, but I can say this for certain, Morningstars certainly look like a very interesting team right now, and of course they will have Chubbs back in the lineup at some point to replace Helv in that main tank role. We'll have to see if bringing in that other main tank will swap up the kind of compositions they're looking for at the moment, but they seem to be doing their best to try and make sure Asking is in his element and that he's getting a lot of value out of the skill set that he's been honing.
Yeah, Asking definitely a big Widow player. At the end of the day, he was kind of taking it to Sparker too, who Sparker is one of the best Widows we have in EU currently. Asking is definitely on the top of that list as well, you know? I mean, the one map they did win was Paris, and Paris was dominated by Asking on that Widowmaker. It's just these other maps, you can't really stand up against it. There's so many tight little corners that the GOATS comp can move on through so swiftly as well. With the Lucio speed boost, there's not too much time for Asking to really set up.
Yeah, and one of the main storylines of today as well has been the redemption of Suna after the loss last week. It looked like Suna was being completely outclassed by Mouse on that Zarya role, but right now his tracking's looking pretty crisp. Not always the greatest gravitons. I'd love to see some improvement in that area, but right now he's definitely looking like a high tier